there is a huge noticeable difference. So this is exactly the problem I see when people are trying to lose weight. They're so obsessed and infatuated by the number on the scale that they don't even take into account just what they look like in the mirror or how they feel. They may think if they weigh 200 pounds and they lose 5 pounds of fat and they regain it in 5 pounds of muscle, although it is pretty obvious that they can see that there's a difference in the mirror, they're still caught up on the number on the scale, and that just pisses me off. You should not only be relying on the weight on the scale when it comes to losing weight. What's up, everyone? David here. Got a new video for y'all today. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new videos. Remember, new videos every week. So for today's topic, we're going to be going over weight loss. Now, when I say weight loss, I mean specifically fat loss, F-A-T, fat loss. Why is this? It's because when it comes to losing weight, you don't want to be losing your muscle mass. You want to be losing the body fat. Now that we cleared that up, there's also another thing I want to tell y'all. If you're only measuring your weight loss progress through the number on the scale, then buddy, you're in for a rude awakening. You're just going to come in and be disappointed every damn week. I'm sorry to tell you that, but you're just going to have to deal with that. Why is this? I'm glad I asked. It's because muscle weighs more than fat. If you take 1 pound of muscle like this, and you take 1 pound of fat like this, and put it side by side, you mean to tell me there's not a big difference between how much space 1 pound of muscle takes and 1 pound of fat takes? There is a huge noticeable difference. So this is exactly the problem I see when people are trying to lose weight. They're so obsessed and infatuated by the number on the scale that they don't even take into account just what they look like in the mirror or how they feel. They may think if they weigh 200 pounds and they lose 5 pounds of fat and they regain it in 5 pounds of muscle, although it is pretty obvious that they can see that there's a difference in the mirror, they're still caught up on the number on the scale, and that just pisses me off. You should not only be relying on the weight on the scale when it comes to losing weight. Look at yourself in the mirror. You mean to tell me 5 of these is not a big noticeable difference in size compared to 5 of these? I mean, just look at it. This is just one, and that's already a big difference. 1 pound of fat, look at it, compared to me, I mean, that's a pretty decent amount just for one. Now imagine losing 5 of those and regaining 5 of these in muscle. You mean to tell me your body, your physique is not going to look a lot better? But no, you want to be stubborn and you want to only focus on the scale. By all means, do so. But when it comes to losing weight, a biggest thing that most people overlook is just the mindset, the motivation to keep doing it. I got plenty of videos going over how to stay motivated when it comes to losing weight. Why? It's because when it comes to this particular goal, there's so many things that can get in the way and that could fuck with you. The number on the scale is one of them. You're so caught up on just that one little number. If any time you see that it didn't even go down 1 pound or it just slightly went up 1, boom, that's enough to already throw you off your game. You start doubting yourself. Why am I doing this? Is it worth it? I don't want to work out anymore. I'm not even getting the results that I want. No, but in reality, you're making amazing progress. You're losing the fat, which is the goal. And you're gaining muscle, which is even better. You're getting 2 for 1. That's why I said in the beginning, the goal is not weight loss. It's fat loss. Specifically, you want to be losing a bunch of these, and in a perfect world, in a perfect scenario, you will be gaining a bunch of these. When it comes to losing body fat, body recomposition, looking better, the scale is not the only means of progress. Look at yourself in the mirror. Take progress pics. Also notice, how are everyday activities throughout the day feeling? When you first started this weight loss journey, how did it feel when you went up from the first floor to the second floor by taking the stairs? Okay, 2 or 3 months down the road, same thing. How does it feel now going from the first floor to the second floor? That flight of stairs that normally would have been very tiring for you and you were already out of breath and sweating by the time you got to the top, how does it feel now? It probably feels a lot better. Where you park your car to the entrance of the supermarket, how did that feel? Were you already out of breath by the time you got to the entrance of the market? How does it feel now? You're going to Costco, you park your car far, you walk to the entrance. Now, you don't feel as tired as you were when you were heavier. Again, these are all little things that could also be used to measure your progress when it comes to losing weight. Not just that, your clothes. If you're wearing a shirt, what otherwise would have been a tight-fitting shirt, and let's be honest, usually the tightest areas of the shirt are going to be right around the midsection, maybe the arm if you have that flab behind it. Okay, this is the shirt I'm going to start using from now on to measure my progress. If it fits tight around the midsection, it fits tight around the arms, 2 or 3 months down the road, I'm not only focusing on the scale weight, the number on it. I'm also focusing on the shirt. I'm gonna put the shirt on again in 2 or 3 months, and I'm gonna notice, does it fit looser from this middle section? Does it fit looser around the arms? If the answer is yes, which in most cases it probably will be if you're staying consistent and doing everything that you're supposed to do, then that is clear, obvious that you are in fact losing weight. Now, if it starts getting tighter around those areas, maybe particularly around the arms, why is this? Your arms may be looking better, but it's fitting a little tighter. Or maybe it doesn't even change at all. Maybe it's still filling out the same amount of sleeve. Well, could it be that you lost all of these in your arm and now you're rebuilding it in this muscle? Again, it adds up. The goal when it comes to weight loss is not just only losing these. You want to lose the body fat, but you also want to increase the amount of muscle mass that you have. Again, there are just so many different things that you can use to measure progress when it comes to losing weight, particularly losing body fat. But the fact that you're only obsessing about the number on the scale, that alone is going to be your own self-destruction. In my opinion, again, this is just my opinion. You don't have to follow what I say, but this is just what I see, and this is what I've seen the best results with my clients. We only bring out the scale every 6 to 8 weeks. I'm not using it weekly with them, and I'm encouraging them not to use it daily. I tell them, ignore looking at the scale. As long as you trust what we're doing and you're doing your part on your end to stay consistent with your diet, nutrition, workouts, and recovery on the days when we don't meet for a training session, then everything should go according to plan. Only use the scale for large portions of time, 6 to 8 weeks apart. That's when you'll notice a noticeable difference. But if you're using it day in and day out, well, you're not going to notice it. Another analogy I can use for this, imagine you have a roll of toilet paper or just regular paper towels. If you peel one sheet off of it a day, are you really going to notice a difference from Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday? No, because you're only taking out one sheet. One sheet doesn't make that big of a difference. But if you keep taking out one sheet per day for 30 days, but you only saw what it looked like on day 1 versus day 30, then are you going to see a difference? Obviously the fuck yes. Just the fact that you're looking at it every day, you're not going to notice these differences. But over a period of time, you will. That's what we want to do with the scale. Only use it in long periods of time, so you're not just always focusing on that fucking number, because the moment it's one number that doesn't look right to you, it's over. 2 more things. Last 2 things on this rant, and then we'll call it a day. That number on the scale, if you choose to still look at it, just keep in mind, it's always going to fluctuate. There's so many different things going on in your body that are going to contribute to your weight. Stress, nutrition, hydration, recovery. All these things take a toll on your body, whether it be the results that you want or hindering the ones that you want. Let's just say you weigh yourself in the morning, okay? But then next time you weigh yourself in the evening, obviously you're going to be heavier in the evening because you went a whole day of food, a whole day of drinking water. All that food, everything that went into you through your diet is going to add to your overall body weight. So if it comes to the scale, make sure if you are going to be weighing yourself consistently, you weigh yourself at the exact same time every day. So if you're going to weigh yourself at 8 a.m. on Monday, okay, next time you weigh yourself, make sure it's 8 a.m. also. I like having these 2 things as visual, particularly when it comes to talking about BMI. If you ever gone to the doctor, you know what BMI is. BMI is body mass index. All it is pretty much a ratio between your height and your weight. Specifically, it's supposed to be like how much you're supposed to weigh per height and all that. But here's the thing. BMI takes into account your overall body weight, and then it compares it to your overall height. So for me in particular, do I look overweight to you? I like to think no. I'm pretty fit. I work out, decent muscle gain. But my BMI is still classifying me under the overweight category. Why is this? It's because I have a lot more muscle mass than I do body fat. So I weigh 175 and I'm 5'9". You take another person who's 5'9" and weighs 175 but hasn't lifted a weight once in a day and they're mostly body fat, we're gonna have the same BMI. But although we're both overweight, who's healthier, me or that other person? Again, that's the problem I have with BMI. It doesn't take into account how much of that overall weight is fat or how much of it is muscle. So if you go to doctors and you're obsessed with BMI and your goal is to get it lower and lower, keep in mind, I feel BMI should only be used for those who are morbidly obese, that have a huge amount of weight to lose. But on the other side of that, BMI should not be a test of losing body fat. BMI is just an overall health marker. What do I mean by that? It's just used as an overall guide of how healthy you are when it comes to your certain body weight. And this goes both ways. It doesn't matter if that body weight is completely muscle or completely fat. What do I mean by this? Let's take the example of a 300-pound bodybuilder versus a 300-pound just obese person. Both the same height and they got the same body weight. One's primarily composed of fat because they don't work out. The other one is muscle because they do work out. They're going to have a high BMI in the overweight, possibly even the obese category. But again, it's an overall health marker because even then, that bodybuilder could be at high risk for some bad health if their BMI is high. Although they don't have a bunch of these, they have a bunch of these. Why is this? It's because the fact that they're carrying so much body weight, that's a lot of strain on their heart. How many times have you seen these bodybuilders on YouTube, whatever, and they have a mic hooked up to them, and then you just hear their heavy breathing throughout the entire video? Why? It's because that's a lot of strain. Your heart has to pump so much more, so much harder, so much more often to get enough blood flow through the rest of your body. It's as if they're obese. It's just so much more mass that has to be carried around. Think about the amount of weight they're carrying on their knees, their ankles, compared to a fat person. It's the same amount, just one's muscle, one's fat. But overall, 300 pounds is 300 pounds. It doesn't matter if it's fat or muscle. That's still a lot of strain on your lower body joints that you got to carry around. That's still a lot of extra work your heart has to go through to pump blood to get you through the rest of your body, keep you alive. So again, BMI is just an overall health marker. I wouldn't say necessarily it's particularly a goal that you should be focusing on when it comes to losing weight week in, week out, particularly body fat. That just sums it up. That's just a quick little rant I have when it comes to people that have the goal of losing weight. I don't want you all just to be focusing on the scale. There's so many other ways for you to measure progress. Scale should only be used from point A to point B. In between could be 6 to 8 weeks. Again, that's just my personal opinion. You do with it as you please. Make sure you subscribe to not just this channel, but my girlfriend's channel, couple's channel, so you don't miss out on any new videos. Remember, we got new videos every week across the board for all 3 channels. And if for Instagram and TikTok, same thing. Make sure you follow us on my accounts, girlfriends, couples. I put all the links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.